At first, it just felt like a normal day at school. Same classrooms, same people, nothing unusual. But then small things started happening, things that didn't make sense. And the scary part is, some things don't leave when everyone else does. These are 3 school stories that felt a little too real. Story 1, the last classroom open. I wasn't supposed to stay that late. It just happened. Detention ran over. Then I stayed back to finish some work. By the time I checked the clock, it was already dark. The school felt different at night. Quiet. Too quiet. No voices. No footsteps. Just that empty echo. I packed my things. Got ready to leave. Then I noticed something. One classroom still had its light on. Down the corridor, at the very end, I frowned. That didn't make sense. Everyone should have been gone, teachers included. I stood there for a second, looking at it. Then I started walking. Slowly. The closer I got, the quieter it felt, like the whole building was holding its breath. I reached the door. It was slightly open, just a small gap. I pushed it gently. It creaked. Inside, the room looked normal. Desks, chairs, everything in place. But someone was there, sitting at one of the desks, facing the board, not moving. I froze. "Hello," I said. No response. The person didn't react, didn't turn, just sat there, still. I stepped inside, slowly. "Are you all right?" I asked. Nothing. I got closer, and that's when I noticed something. The way they were sitting. Too straight, too still, like they weren't breathing. My chest tightened. I stopped walking. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. Then, the chair creaked. Slightly. But they didn't move. I took a step back. "Okay, I'm just gonna go," I said. Still nothing. I turned. Started walking toward the door. Then, a voice. Behind me. "Stay." I froze. Slowly, I turned around. The person hadn't moved. Still facing forward. But I'd heard it. Clear as anything. "Did you say that?" I asked. No response. Then, "Stay." Same voice. Same direction. But their mouth hadn't moved. My chest tightened instantly. I backed toward the door. Heart racing now. "I'm leaving," I said. No answer. I reached the door, grabbed the handle, and pulled. It didn't open. My chest dropped. I pulled again. Nothing. Stuck. Then, the chair behind me scraped loudly. I froze. Didn't turn around. Didn't want to. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Getting closer. Right behind me. My hand was shaking on the door. I pulled again. Harder. Still nothing. Then, right behind me, a whisper. "Sit down." I yanked the door one more time. And this time, it opened. I didn't look back. I ran. Down the corridor. Didn't stop. Didn't slow down. Until I got outside. Into the open air. I turned back once. Just once. The classroom light was off. Completely dark. Like it had never been on. The next day, I asked about it. Told them everything. They looked confused. Then one teacher said, "That room's been locked for weeks." I didn't argue. I just stopped staying late after that. Because I don't know who was sitting in that classroom, or why they wanted me to stay. Story 2, the name that shouldn't be there. It was the last lesson of the day. Everyone was tired. The kind of quiet where no one really talks. Just waiting for the bell. Our teacher walked in. Sat down. Opened the register. Routine. Same as always. "All right," she said. "Let's take attendance." She started calling names. One by one. People answered. "Here." "Yeah." "Normal." Then she paused. just for a second, like she'd seen something strange. Then she said a name, one I didn't recognize. No one answered. She frowned, looked up. Is anyone here for that name? The room stayed quiet. We all looked at each other, confused. No, she said. Then she shrugged, marked something down, and carried on. I didn't think much of it. Probably just a mistake. Wrong class. Happens sometimes. The lesson went on. Quiet. Normal. Until the end. Just before the bell. She looked at the register again. Frowned. Then said, "That's strange." "What?" someone asked. She didn't answer straight away. Just stared at the page. Then said quietly, "That name, it's still marked present." A few people laughed. "Probably a glitch," someone said. She nodded. "Yeah, probably." Then the bell rang. Everyone packed up. Left. I didn't think about it again. Until the next day. Same class. Same teacher. She opened the register again. Started calling names. Everything normal. Then, she paused again. Same spot. Same reaction. Then she said it. The same name. No one answered. Silence. But this time, she didn't shrug it off. She looked around the room. Slowly. Like she was actually checking. Then said, "Who is this?" No one replied. No one even knew what to say. Because none of us had heard that name before. It didn't belong to anyone. She looked uneasy now. Properly uneasy. Then she said something that made it worse. "It's been marked present for the past week." The room went quiet. No one laughed this time. No one spoke. I felt that slight tension. Like something wasn't right. Then someone at the back said, "Maybe they are just not answering." The teacher shook her head. "They've never missed a day." That didn't make sense. "How do you know?" someone asked. She looked at the register again. Then said quietly, "Because I don't mark them present." My chest tightened slightly. The room felt different after that. Colder. Heavier. She closed the register. Didn't finish the lesson properly. Just let us leave early. No one complained. We all felt it. Something was off. Over the next few days, the name stayed. Always there. Always marked present. Even when no one answered. Then one day, it changed. The teacher called the name again. But this time, someone answered. Quiet. Almost a whisper. "Here." The room froze. Every single person looked around, trying to find who said it. No one had moved. No one looked like they'd spoken. The teacher stared at the class. Pale. "Who said that?" she asked. Silence. No answer. Then, a chair creaked. Slowly. From the empty desk. At the back of the room. My chest tightened instantly. Everyone was staring at it now. The desk was empty. Completely empty. But the chair had moved. Just slightly. Like someone had leaned forward. The teacher stepped back. Didn't say anything. Didn't move closer. She just closed the register. And said, "Everyone, leave." We didn't wait. We got up. Left. Quickly. No one spoke about it after. Not properly. The next day, that name was gone. Completely removed. Like it was never there. But the desk at the back stayed empty. No one ever sat there again. Because we all heard it. And we all knew. Someone had answered. Even though no one was there. Story 3. The classroom that should have been empty. I wasn't supposed to be in that part of the school. No one was. It was after hours. Way after. I'd stayed late for practice. Everyone had already left. Teachers. Students. Even the cleaners. The building felt dead. Silent. Too silent. I was heading out. Walking down the corridor. When I heard it. A sound. From one of the classrooms. A chair scraping. Slow. Deliberate. I stopped. Listened. Silence. I frowned. That didn't make sense. There shouldn't be anyone here. I took a few steps closer. The classroom was near the end of the hallway. Lights off. Door closed. Everything normal. Then, another sound. Inside. Like someone moving. My chest tightened slightly. "Hello." I called out. No response. Just silence again. I hesitated. Then slowly, I reached for the door. Pushed it open. It creaked. The room was dark. Only faint light from the corridor. I stepped inside. Looked around. Desks. Chairs. Everything in place. No one there. I frowned. "Must have imagined it," I said quietly. Then I heard it again. Behind me. The door. Closing. Slowly. My chest tightened instantly. I turned. The door shut. On its own. I walked toward it. Grabbed the handle. Opened it. Stepped back into the corridor. The hallway was still empty. Completely. I let out a breath. "Yeah, I'm leaving," I muttered. I turned. Started walking away. Then, I heard something else. From behind me. The classroom. Voices. Low. Multiple. Like people talking quietly. My chest tightened. I turned around slowly. The door was closed again. I stared at it. Listening. The voices were still there. Muffled. But definitely there. Like a full class. I stepped closer. Heart beating faster. Put my ear near the door. And that's when I heard it clearly. Someone speaking. Like a teacher. "Open your books." My chest tightened. Then another voice. A student. Responding. More voices followed. Like a full lesson was happening. Inside that room. At night. With no one there. I stepped back. Slowly. Didn't want to be near it. Then, the voices stopped. Instantly. All at once. Silence. Heavy silence. Then, one voice. Right behind the door. "Close. Too close. Come in." My chest tightened instantly. I didn't move. Didn't respond. Then, the door handle turned. Slowly. Like someone on the other side was opening it. I stepped back. Heart racing now. The door opened slightly. Just a gap. Dark inside. Completely dark. No light. No movement. But I felt it. That feeling. Like something was there. Waiting. Watching. "Come in," the voice said again. Quiet. Closer this time. I didn't wait. I turned. And ran. Down the corridor. Out of the building. Didn't stop. Didn't look back. The next day, I asked about it. Told them everything. They looked confused. Then one teacher said, "That classroom's not in use anymore." "Why?" I asked. They hesitated. Then said quietly, "Because people kept hearing things in there, after hours." I didn't ask anything else. I just made sure. I never stayed late again. Because I don't know who was inside that room. Or why they wanted me to come in. Not everything stays behind when school ends. Some things wait. Quietly. If one of these did, you already know which one. There are more stories like this on my channel. If you're willing to keep going. Subscribe if you think you can handle the next one. I'll see you again. If you're still paying attention.